Hello friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Estelle and today I'm showing you how I mend our stuff so we can use them again. There's a quiet kind of satisfaction in fixing something with your own hands, just making it whole again or giving it a new life. Lately, I've been setting aside time to mend. Little by little, it's becoming part of my everyday rhythm. In this video, I'm sharing some of the pieces I've cared for recently. Little tears, worn out fabrics, ripped seams. Nothing urgent, but all worth saving. Instead of throwing these items and buying replacements, I'm choosing to take care of what we already have. Somehow, I've become the seamstress of the family, so everyone brings me their broken things, and I love that. Maybe it's a role we've forgotten, to repair instead of replace, to keep things going a little longer. Not only just for the sake of being sustainable, but because it reminds us of something important, that what we have can be enough if we are willing to care for it. These won't be dramatic makeovers, nothing that would go viral, but each fix felt like a small act of care, and I think that's more important. So, without further ado, you're welcome to join me in a slow week of sewing and mending. I hope it brings you some inspiration and maybe a bit of peace. I want to start with an easy one, Eneko's shorts. The pocket had ripped and he'd keep wearing them anyway, which is kind of risky in the city we live in, since there are a lot of big pockets and sometimes he keeps his phone there, so it needs to be fixed. This was such a simple fix, just one seam barely visible. And now they are functional again. Next, I moved on to something much older. This bedsheet has been in my family for 2 generations. First my grandmother's, now my mom's. The fabric is really soft and of good quality, but time has left its terrible marks. My mom doesn't want to let it go, and I understand why. I think our dog bit the sheet one day, and after mending it by hand and washing it, it has only gotten worse. We'll see if it can be repaired because it has a lot of holes. But if not, we'll turn it into something new, a dress, a top, something she can still use and keep close. Now that I've laid it out, I see I have several options. I could take out some fabric from the corners, making rounded corners, and then use these pieces to repair the holes. The problem with this is that the change would be very visible. But maybe if I do it on purpose as visible mending with some contrasting thread, maybe it's not a problem. We'll see. Another solution I came up with is to use this cotton fabric and make a strip wide enough to replace the entire damaged part, and finishing it with this part in the same color to match. The downside to this is that this fabric, although also cotton, isn't as soft as my mother's bedsheet, so it might be too noticeable to the touch. It's a tough decision. But I think I want to maintain the softness of this fabric for the whole bedsheet, so I will try and make some visible mending. I'm a complete beginner at this, so please don't shout at me if I do something wrong. Although if you want to share your wisdom, tips are always appreciated. I'm folding the bedsheet in half and trimming off the rounded corners. This way I will get 2 small pieces of extra fabric that I can use to repair the holes. Once the seams are finished, I have to cut away all the damaged fabric to stop any further tearing. Everything frayed has to go. Now comes the puzzle part. With the little fabric I've got, I'm figuring out how to cover the holes. I place the fabric underneath the bedsheet and pin everything in place to test the coverage. Once it's just right, I will baste it to keep it from shifting before sewing it down. This is looking better than I imagined. The geometric pattern of the fabric makes the patches very concealed. Now it's time to sew everything together. I went for a super simple mending method. No sewing right sides together, because honestly with these wild shapes, this is the best approach I could handle right now. I stitched a seam along the edge, joining the bedsheet to the patches. Next, I will trim away the excess fabric and finish the raw edges with either zigzag or decorative stitch.
I was never the one to write up a song for just anyone. I was always the one to find myself lost in long conversations. Cause I've always been told that things will unfold if you keep on waiting. But then you came along and proved me all wrong. I was so mistaken. Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free. Oh my sweet baby.
We often say we are paying with money when we buy something, but that money didn't appear from nowhere. We earn it by renting our time, our energy, our focus. So when we throw something away lightly, we are not just wasting an object and the money we paid for it, we are tossing out hours of our life. That's why I love mending, because instead of trading more time to earn more money to buy something new, I can use that time to care for what I already have. It's quiet, calming, and often more rewarding. Patched the biggest hole in the bedsheet, but I've run out of fabric, and I still have a few small holes left. I will need to use some other fabric as backing, since this fabric is thin and delicate to sew on its own. The back might look a little funny, but I'd rather have that than risk creating seams that could tear the bedsheet even more. I got a little creative with the stitches, using different types to secure the edges from fraying, and I really love how it turned out. If it's going to be visible, it might as well be interesting. Let's see the final result! Here it is laying on the bed. From afar, I can't even tell it's been mended, which is such a nice surprise. I had to be really careful to keep everything flat, and I think that extra effort definitely paid off. Up close you can see the patches, but they have a whimsical charm to them. I just know my mom will be so happy to have this bedsheet back. On one of my last videos, I showed you how I upcycled this little wheeled stool. It turned out so pretty and it was very useful when I was moving from one spot to the other when making my quilt, but it's been awful for my back when I sit still to sew or edit videos. Many of you shared your concerns in the comments about how this tool would be bad for my back, and you were totally right. After just a few minutes sewing, my posture just collapses. Here's how I start sewing and how I usually finish. So I started researching ergonomic chairs that would have wheels. And then, perfect timing, I got an email from Flexispot offering me this foldable ergonomic chair as a gift. I got the package in just a few days and honestly, what a difference! My favorite part for sure is the 90 degrees foldable design. I can easily tuck it under the desk when I'm done working, which was the only point of having a stool instead of a regular chair. Now I can have it all and it's perfect for my small space. When unfolded, it has a practical footrest for when I need to change my posture for a bit. And when I need to switch from focus mode to relax mode, the adjustable backrest declines from 105 degrees to 135 degrees. The 3D ergonomic headrest adjusts in both height and angle so my neck feels supported, and the armrest and lumbar support are fully customizable to keep good posture and reduce fatigue. I chose this beautiful green, but you can choose between 5 vibrant colors. I thought I'd share this little upgrade in case you've been looking for a comfy, space-saving chair too. Now that I have a proper chair, I feel prepared to face the next project. I have to fix some outdoor cushions from my sister. Her dogs destroyed the outdoor sofa like crazy, and she hasn't been able to use it for months. I have all the stuff in here, so I will have to sew an inner cover and the cushions will be washable. I also have to mend the cushion cover as it's terribly ripped. We'll see how I manage to fix this. I think we all have items like this, broken and left aside for too long. We just get used to the inconvenience and forget we have the power to fix things. Now that I've finished my family assignments, I'm going to start with my belongings. I have this thrifted wool cardigan that has some holes in it. It's time I fix them before autumn. I'm happy to have a hand sew project, so I can sit on the couch and relax. It's my favorite type of mending. It's kind of meditative. Next, I have this flannel shirt that belonged to my grandfather. I swear he wore it all the time, you can tell by how worn it is. He passed away 5 years ago, and this year I recovered this from his wardrobe. Now that I got to wear it, I noticed something funny. One of the sleeves couldn't be buttoned up, which means he probably wore it for years without being able to fold that sleeve properly. And the fix, it was literally this. Done, fixed in 3 seconds. Is it just that some men are totally unbothered by things like this? Or do you also feel personally called out for wearing a faulty garment for 10 years, when the solution takes less time than making a coffee? Please share your battles with situations like this. Should be fun to read them in the comments. I thought this was also the perfect moment to look at the imperfections in my handmade quilts and blankets. Maybe on camera they look polished, but the mistakes are there, and I think it's important to show them. It reminds me of the opportunities we always have to improve. These stitches might not have turned out perfectly the first time, but if I hadn't tried at all, there wouldn't be anything here to fix because I wouldn't have brought these quilts to life. These pieces have kept me warm, and they make me smile every time I see them. So it felt right to sit with them again, stitch by stitch, and return the favor. Do you want to hear something curious about Mama? He's missing a fang. It's unknown why, but the shelter suspected he fell or that the other street cats bullied him a little bit too hard. Poor thing, my baby. He's okay though. Now everything is fixed and back where it belongs, all ready to be used and loved again. I think there's something deeply comforting in the idea that we have this power. In a world that moves fast, mending feels like a way to pause, to honor the time, the energy, and the memories woven into what we own. Thank you for spending this slow week with me. I hope you're taking care of yourself. See you in the next video. Adeu!